only living thing on the planet that questions who we are. We are the only living thing that wonders, we're confused, we don't know what to do when. Every other living animal, plant, organism knows exactly their purpose. They know exactly what to consume and what not to consume. We're the only living thing that will listen to bullshit and feed ourselves shit and shit out shit and I don't know, like go through shit and create shit. Like, come on. We gotta wake up.
I'm with my fave of all time.
And Miss Lorraine Lawson.
Lorraine Lawson.
Lorraine Lawson. Lorraine Lawson.
Lorraine Lawson. I just love her so much.
And then the rest is just how. We can adjust the how, but I don't want you adjusting who you are. No. That's why we can't do it alone. I wish, you can't do it alone. You need people, but we need the right people in the house. I love it. It's how you are seen.
Yeah.
Just like Pop's being asked now to do, have given enough proof. So please stop looking at social media as media. People call it a TV show and people call it all the things. It is proof that who you are is who you are, period. That is what it is. Use it for what it is. Yes, the goal here is to get to know yourself. There is no other you on the planet, right? Everyone knows that. You are already unique. You are already unique. So the issue here is, and here's another analogy. Oh my gosh, I'm full of analogies tonight. Do you know that we're the only living thing on the planet that questions who we are? We are the only living thing that wonders, we're confused, we don't know what to do when. Every other living animal, plant, organism knows exactly their purpose. They know exactly what to consume and what not to consume. We're the only living thing that will listen to bullshit and feed ourselves shit and shit out shit and I don't know, like go through shit and create shit. Like, come on. We gotta wake up. We are the artists. We are the creatives. We have to be more evolved. You must become extraordinary. If anyone is going to pay attention to your house, it better stand out. So let's go. Let's dive into this next hour together. This is week 2 of ADI. In order to have a career, you must be memorable, period. Not talented, memorable. And so, James's hat today and his bandana, this is what I would call physical manifestation of who you are. You must physically, visibly stand out in the world first. How to be memorable. Is our ability to create memories, to share our memories and to create memories for people. That's what it is, right? So I got to stand out in the world physically, and then I've got to be able to create memories with the audiences that I am attracting. And so they love that memory so much that they want to come back for more. It's that simple. Some of you are overcomplicating it. It's that simple. I want to work with you again. I want to go to your show again. I want to write a song with you again. There's an again here. And we've got to create that want. First, we got to find our confidence. And once I'm confident, I got to find the want in people who want more. Does this make sense? So how do we do that? How do you do that? And usually I start with this. And because I really do think that everything in our industry starts with inspiration. So just you'll get the replay of this, but I suggest that you write it down somewhere and follow this along. Inspiration is your why. Something inspired you to do this. Some memory of like that you have of observing someone else, of listening to something, of watching something, something inspired you. It's usually something around our senses. Okay. So for chefs, it would be something they tasted, something that they smelt. For you, it's something that you hear, something that you see. Does that make sense? The memory, the inspiration could also be the experience of this thing with other people. This is huge for music because we get inspired by something. We're going to remember it because we were seeing the concert with our best friend or our girlfriend or boyfriend. Like, you know, maybe as a child, you saw something with your family. Are you guys following me? So sometimes people are attached to this inspiration, this feeling. Okay, you guys follow me? And we then are so inspired that we're going to try it. So I call this trying. Let me just box that. I call this trying. I'm trying it out. You know, Kirsten, every time you go onto an open mic, you know, you're trying maybe other physicality. You know, Cassidy, when you did the book the coaching session with Trevor, you know, you're trying shit out. You saw someone perform and they did something and you were like, whoa, what if I tried that? Or maybe the coach suggests that you try something and you do, and you realized, wow, the more I try it on, I'm pretty good at this thing, writing songs, right? Whatever it is that you're good at. Are you guys following me? Yeah. And then what happens is that we carry on because a little voice in our head starts to want something. We want more. I'm going to call this more. Okay. We want more of this good feeling. And so we want more of it. And so what do? We start doing. And this is why I change for many of you as I coach you, your language. Because most of you are here. You're not trying anymore. You're doing. So you need to stop using the word trying. It doesn't make sense. You're past it. You are past trying. You're doing it. You are doing it and you're doing it a lot. This is amazing. But stop saying try because it's like you're denying yourself the win. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying. You're doing it. And I'm so proud of you for doing it. It's so cool. So by doing it, and how do we get great? It is coaching. It's experiencing even more. Right. And you're just going to see more. I want more. I want more. And the more you do it, the more stages you stand on, the greater you become. But now we want even more, don't we? And for us to be memorable, we really do need to become extraordinary. We have to believe that we're extraordinary, exceptional, undeniable. We have to believe it. And you as the artist, especially those of you who are creating, writing songs, you're going into studios, you're collaborating, you're hiring people, musicians possibly, you're hiring videographers, you're, you know, working with stylists. People are hiring you to produce, like for Larissa, you know, hiring you to do things. You're hiring other people to do things. You must be the most extraordinary person in the room because you're the artist. You are the alpha. You are the shepherd. I can't be memorable because memory is not just one. I can stand out by a gimmick, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Like you can wear the meat dress once and have all eyes on you. But if she wasn't really extraordinary under the meat dress, do you think it would work? People would probably laugh and find it stupid. You know what I'm saying? But because everything she had done doing, leading up to this crazy behavior, standing out behavior, all eyes on me behavior. She was ready for it. And that's why you cannot ask for the eyes on you until you're ready. Because it's dangerous. That's scary. It's risky. Are you guys following me? Like, all eyes on me. I love to say that in coaching sessions. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. But man, you got to want that. I want all eyes on me. If you don't want all eyes on me, you better not be asking me all eyes on me. It's like, oh my God, palpitation. So we need more low stakes shows. We need more coaching sessions to get to that point where I can stand on the stage and really believe that I'm extraordinary. So this requires more than ever before, more doing. And then it's, again, I'm going to say it's team. At this point, I'm enrolling some kind of team and audience agreement. As you are developing yourself from great to extraordinary, there has to be more and more agreement with the audience. The audience could be your team. Like I said, the people I'm hiring, the people who are hiring me, the people who are making requests of me, the people I'm making requests of, they start seeing me in this way. And some of you may have this level of agreement even now, like you're getting requests. Some of you have talked about it. It's amazing. But we want it on all levels, everywhere. That's really how to become memorable. I need it everywhere. Does that make sense? Like, not just on stage, but I need to be memorable off stage. I can be memorable by just being kind to people. It's amazing when you say people's names. People will remember you just by saying their name. Wow. Talking to a sound person nicely, honestly, could change. You become memorable. I am so nice to the sound people. And so if I make a request, usually they do it because I'm nice and I remember their name. I make a point of going up to them and shaking their hand. I make a point of complimenting as a strategy, but it's authentic and it's genuine. I always start with a compliment. It doesn't matter who I'm speaking to. You guys know that that's a really important strategy and it works. So I've done this as a circle because as you are trying to become extraordinary in yourself, and some people it takes no time, other people it takes a lifetime. Okay, there's another thing. I don't know why that is. It's like people are naturally thin and people are just naturally tall. I don't know. Like, I wish, I wish I didn't have curly hair a lot when I was growing up, and now it's like the best thing ever. Do you know that? Do you know I used to cry over my hair? I used to cry as a grade school into high school, cry. My mother would keep my hair short, brushed it out. This was not, like, hated my curls, hated it. And I cried all the time over my hair. And then when I was in about grade 10, I started to grow it. And I kept growing it and kept growing it. And even up until 30, like, that's why my album covers here. Oh, where's the other one? This one. So one has, hair and curly hair. And I just didn't know who I was. I was changing my look all the time. I was like trying to find, who am I? Do I have straight hair? Am I the curly haired person? I was so confused by my physical manifestation of who I was, because I didn't know who I was. Are you fucking kidding me? I did not know. People would make me up, put so much makeup on, and I hated it. And I would say nothing. I would be like, okay, do I look glamorous? I don't know. Meanwhile, I would look at myself in the mirror and go, I don't think that's me. Like, I don't like all that makeup. Do you not? I didn't know who I was. Are you guys following what I'm saying? Yes, James.
We can do that to ourselves too. I have been I've been my own worst enemy. If you find old pictures of me on the internet, it is crazy the sort of characters that I've been over the course of my life. And that's like normal too. It's not always outside influence, but it is from ourselves not
Right.
knowing who we are. Like
It is,
you
but
may do it to yourself too.
where you are at the time. Like,
Yep.
I know people who dye their hair blonde and they love it for that album or that moment in time. So listen, this is not a judgment on anyone who wants to change their appearance from time to time, or, you know, whatever. But the point is that where you are, make the choices based on where you are, not what other people, where they think you are, is the point. And so it wasn't really until I started embracing this. Like, I wouldn't even say I started embracing it until maybe 10 years ago. Like, that's crazy. I spent my lifetime crying, wishing it was different, hoping it was different. Okay. And then I was like, I don't know. People seem to remember me because of this hair, and I'll just keep my hair. Yes. Yes. By the way, thank you so much. But by the way, I can tell you too that as you are trying to build yourself, and this gets back to James, when you start to see some traction, my sense is I wouldn't change for a while. It's like Post Malone got traction as an R&B, like hip hop world, you know, like really an urban artist. So he didn't change it for a long time, 4 years. He didn't change his musical genre even though I believe he always wanted to make the music that he's making right now. Once he found traction, you stay in the lane. That's called leverage. In business, we call that traction or leverage. I suggest you do the same. So how you know you're gaining some leverage is this becomes tough. I don't want to leave this circle until I really finish the explanation. And so this becomes harder to find the agreement at first because you're great. There's some work, major work has to happen here. And that's why I've done it as an uphill battle. A lot of people lose the inspiration that they started with. This is when it all starts to fall apart. The gap becomes wide. Where you want to be is further ahead, and you often stop learning here. And I can tell I have many artists that I have coached that stop coaching. They stop learning. They keep their little nucleus of their team. They don't expand their proximity. They don't take risks. They kind of stay in comfort. Let's call this great comfortable. Okay, does this make sense? And so it really does. To get to this level, it requires you feeling uncomfortable again. And in that process, you might lose your inspiration. So I suggest right now, as you're doing this with me, that you write 4 things at minimum. This is sort of an extra piece of homework that inspire you right now. While you're in this new state of like, this is who I am, well, what it actually inspires you. Because when you feel lost and you feel broken and you feel stuck and you feel like nothing's happening, because along this way, the gap becomes sometimes quite deep and lonely again. Okay, you better remember what can you do that makes you feel inspired? Is it going out with friends again? Is it seeing concerts again? Is it certain people to be around again? You know what I mean? You got to really know, because sometimes you get very lost and people turn to the wrong things. Going to Nashville, that's a change of proximity. Might be scary, but like we just said, that's how you find more inspiration, 100%. Because ultimately we want to build 2 skills. One is being undeniable. I believe that undeniable has 2 things. One can be in skill and one can be innate. And when I say this, you guys will know what I mean. There are certain people like 𝐋𝐨𝐫𝐿, who his skill level is out of this world. It's a whole other realm. He is 1% of 1% of 1%. And his innate desire to share it is 1% of 1% of 1%. And he could have been content where he was, but he built things to help him get to that next level. And that next level was called people. For him to be seen where he really wanted to be seen, he had to stop sharing his talent only, and he had to create a memorable moment, a memorable experience with the audience. And once he was able to do that, his career became well known globally, because his want was to be a global artist. Clearly, what he wanted was even beyond his skill and his innate ability. Are you guys following what I mean? Like his want was, no, I'm not going to be content just making music for myself. I want an audience, and I want the audience to keep growing. This is the more. I want a bigger audience, and I want an even bigger audience. Was it to show and share his skill and his innate ability? No, it was to create a memorable moment with the audience, which he did by creating his human choir. It was actually his leadership skills. It wasn't his talent at all. You know what I'm saying? It was his leadership. It was his ability to conduct people and to say, you sing this now, and you sing that now, and you sing up here, and now we're going to look. Come on. That is called be the shepherd and let the audience be sheep. But as long as you're flipping it and you're asking the audience what they think, including your team, to, you know, you're asking the audience for their feedback, stop doing that. That's not a shepherd mentality. That is a sheep mentality. You cannot be the artist with that mentality. You must be the leader. Am I seeing heads nod, or is this freaking you out? Right? And so online, we have to be able to do that. And on stage, we have to be able to do that. The other is to become unstoppable. And this also is some level of innate, meaning some kind of have to, and this is that problem solver. You have to become a problem solver. You cannot be memorable unless you can solve problems for people. And I'll tell you, the people who solve the most problems are the most memorable, right? The people who give an experience, right, to the audience, super talented and everything, it's great. People will walk away going, I was so impressed, right? Like, I loved that. That was such a good show. That person was awesome. But they're not going to come back again and again unless you make the audience do something. You've got to solve a problem for them. Most of you want the audience to solve your problem. You have to flip it. Your job is to solve your own problem, okay? The audience's job is for you to solve a problem for them. They need to just show up. But once they show up, you've got to say, hey, everybody. Remember those 4 levels of responsibility last week? 4 levels of responsibility. Most people want to be told what to do, when to do it, where to do it, how to do it, and how to feel. Most people want someone to tell them that. This is what to do now. This is where you do it. Don't do it. Like I just said, 𝐿𝐶𝐸𝐬 telling everyone what to sing. But they'll even tell you how to feel. Let's jump up. Let's jump. Let's get really wild right now. It's like, okay, you know, woo, I want to do that. Okay, we're going to slow things down. We're just going to put, you know, let's find that moment. Let's just hug that person who came with you. This song's for all the lovers in the house. Come on. Like, you know that this is how shows go. This is how an artist talks to the crowd. They take them up and they bring them down. They say, do this now and do that now. And they are sheep and they want you to do that. And the more you do it, the more you're going to be memorable to them, because it was like, I trust that person. Oh my God, that person took me on such an incredible ride. I want to go on the ride again. But they don't want to go on the ride of the person who's like, let's go. Oh my God, now we're going on, like, scary. Like, they don't want scary. You know what I mean? Maybe they do. But scary usually gets tired real quick. That's why I always say to some of you who are writing all sad songs all the time, it gets really boring. One emotion gets boring at some point. It's not memorable. You know, I might turn to you when I'm sad, which is good, I guess. But I think if you can really take people on some kind of journey, solve their problem, have them forget about their problems even for an hour. Think about that. Like, how cool is that? Like, your music might help them not think about something, or, you know, they can go to a show and they don't have to think about anything for a while. That's pretty cool. Okay. So really undeniable, unstoppable. Most of you are stopped where you are. If you go back to those 4 things, I know who I am. The second one, where you are, many of you get stopped very easily. One thing doesn't go right. You've lost your ability to solve problems. You make it mean something. You think the world is against you. The universe doesn't believe in you. Things happen for a reason. So therefore, I guess because that person didn't call me back, I didn't get that festival, and you make it mean something. Stop doing that. You are the shepherd. Solve the problem. Find a different how. That is the muscle of becoming unstoppable. Yes, Onyx.
I was going to ask what you thought like a good duration of an opening set is.
Well, can we save that for a boot camp?
Sure.
Okay, good. Because this is really about being memorable. But yes, we can talk about, you know, a set for sure during a boot camp for sure. So what is a way for you to be memorable that you know works? Like, some of you are performing already. Some of you are finding your audience. You're attracting the right audience to you. What are some things that you find work? I'm just curious. What are some things that work?
Outfits.
Outfit. Yes. So I'm going to say, and I think I touched on it already, if I really want to be memorable, I'm going to use the strategy of physical first. So the reason why I want to be physically memorable first is that we are a visual society. We watch things, we observe things, and unless something gets my attention, I am not unmuting. Okay, especially on social media. I'm not unmuting. I'm not listening to your song at all, right? Like, nobody is listening. And I know it's hard because you guys are writing amazing music and you're investing in the music, but you know, the data does tell us that people you have to get their attention in the first 1 second. 1 second. So that could be in your thumbnail. That could be in that one question that you ask at the beginning of a post. That is a physical font, even the colors. You know, I love, Giordano, your purple background. Like, colors are big. If you watch Emma Lamontagne right now, green is her color. She is rocking like that. Cassidy, like your forest green that you have on, or James's forest green must be in color right now. I don't know. So physically, the hair, like we were saying, is it glasses? Is it makeup? And are you able to wear the same thing or be the same physical? Maybe it's your height. Maybe it's like Bruno Mars is short, right? And you know what he did at the beginning of his career? He always wore a hat. For a long time, he wore a hat. Just go back and you'll watch. He always wore a hat. Oh, that reminds. In tonight, give me everything tonight. You're all I need. Who is that?
Pitbull?
That's Pitbull, but the guy singing is
Enrique Iglesias?
no.
No.
My body tomorrow. Let's do it tonight. Neo. So
Jesus.
Neo has his hat, man. Neo has his hat, and we know it's Neo because of his hat. So your physical outfit must reflect what? It must reflect your adjectives. It must. I don't want to see, red lips on somebody who thinks that they're subdued or something. Like, that's a pretty bold makeup choice for someone who's shy. It doesn't really go, right? Does this make sense? So we're trying to connect our physicality to our adjectives. Okay? Adjectives. For some of you, the next thing I'm going to say is a message. But we could also say it's communication. And that communication should really reflect the who and the why. You know, who do you want to do this for? Talk to them as if you're talking to people that you know who they are, and talk about your why. People love why you're doing something. They don't really care what your song is about. I'm sorry, I don't care about you enough yet. But if you can connect to be memorable, why you wrote the song and how, oh, let me add that, how you made it, that's kind of cool. People love stories of overcoming. People love stories about, you know, making things. You know, have you ever watched those shows about like how, you know, Tim Hortons created the little donut hole, like how, you know, have you ever watched those? I used to watch those with my kids all the time. Like, you know, how does the caramel get inside the caramel bar? Like, you know, how it's fun, right? We love to watch how. So how you made it, but also how is it affecting other people? People like that. That's called evidence. Okay. So in your message, really important. And we are at the end of this going to pitch ourselves. So we need to have a message. We have to know what our message is. And finally, really to know what emotion do people get. Again, we were talking about the 𝐿𝐁𝐸𝐬 as an example of this, and I'm going to call it a get. I would love you to know, what are you giving people? What is the emotional state that you want people to feel? And they will come back for it if you can articulate it well. They will come back for this feeling. So this is why you don't want to take people on too many feelings. Okay? Because too many feelings is confusing. It's like saying to a kid, you know, do you want spaghetti, meatballs? Do you want, you know, chicken? Do you want salmon? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? Do you want that? What do you want for dinner? Too many choices. I don't know what I want. You know, if you go to a restaurant and there's too many choices on the menu, you don't really know what you want. You know what I do? I usually close the menu and I just ask the waiter. I'm such a person. I love leadership. You have no idea. I will just never even look at a menu half the time at restaurants. I usually say to the person, what do you recommend? Because I'm a leader, I trust people in the room. You will know that about yourself. You will know that you are a real leader the more you trust others, because you trust yourself. Right? The people who are micromanagers, how many people are micromanagers? How many people are perfectionists here? And you tell everyone what to do all the time, right? This is someone, this perfectionism is a fear, right? Perfectionists are usually afraid of things going wrong. You're afraid of failure. But a leader doesn't mind a problem because I know I can solve it. Now, ask me in my weaker moments when I become a normal person, I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? But then guess what? The leader shows up again. So that's why those two voices will always be alive and well in yourself. One that is certain and one that is uncertain. These are, you know, there's 6 human needs that Tony Robbins came up with. And the 6 human needs are certainty and uncertainty. Significance. Some people need more significance than others. Humans need to grow and expand. There's another human need of love and connection. We all need it. And finally, the last one is contribution. And because you guys are creatives, you need that. Now, these are the 6 human needs that he has identified, but everybody has 1 or 2 that kind of lead them. Of the ones that I said, watch the replay, you know, really ask yourself, what is leading? If it's not significance or contribution, I'm going to suggest you're in the wrong business. Because you need to want to be significant. You need to want to be the leader. You need to know that what you're doing is contributing to the world. You need to know that what you're creating is important. You have to believe in yourself. Does that make sense? But certainty and uncertainty, like, yo, I don't need either of those. Sometimes I need certainty and sometimes I'm okay with uncertainty. It's not driving me. But the average person, certainty is really important. You know, like the normal people, I always like to say. Who said that someone had one of the things like they're not normal, or an adjective? Like, you know, we have these thoughts, right? Like creatives, you guys think different. You think different. It's okay. So our ability to even express that here is really important in your messaging in order to be memorable, because you're making a connection to the audience. You're saying, hey, audience, which we know from our mentorship group, we've really identified the audience as one-to-one. If I know who I am, then I'm going to attract myself. I can say things that are interesting to me. Therefore, I know that they will be interesting to my audience. Following? Yeah. So let's move very quickly into another way of being memorable, which is your story. At the beginning of your career, which many of you are still at the beginning, your story is a big part of why people are going to attract or be attracted to you. People like to know where you came from. We're going to call that your past. They need to know what you're currently working on, doing right now, who you are working with right now, and where you are going. Okay. So I'm going to call, and then, so past, present, future. Your homework is to really dissect a story from your past, maybe 2 or 3 of why. This answer, like why something happened that got you inspired. Something happened that had you try. Something happened that told you that you were good at it. Something happened that led you to want more and become great at it. And something is telling you that you can go further. So I need to know why. Present is what? You know, what are you working on? And who? Oh, by the way, it's so good in a story to tell where and when something happened. And who's in the room, you know, who inspired you, maybe, you know. So some people will say, who are your inspirations? At the beginning of a career, this is also really important to know who your inspiration is or who you are similar to, even though you hate it, right? You want to be unique. You want to be heard as the only one. And oh gosh, we've heard it all. Like I've heard it all where people are like, I'm creating my own genre. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 flicking notes in a scale. 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 7 diminished, with very few people do 8 chords. There's some extensions to those chords, which kind of tell us if it's more jazz leaning or R&B leaning. But yo, there is nothing happening that's that new in music. So please don't say I am like so amazing. If you were so amazing, then you would be undeniable already. Drop the mic, but you're not. So say where you are. Be honest. Say where you are. This might be where we can say honesty is more important, right? Honest, humble. Don't get too humble though, because I need you to be able to stand on a stage and I need to believe that you're the alpha. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get too grateful or humble here. I put that there and I probably shouldn't have. Don't be so humble. Okay. Just want to be, forget humble. But I want you to be honest. You know, I want you to be honest with where you are, what you're working on right now. And then you've got to create a compelling future, a realistic, compelling future. I was happy with humble. I know. I know. It's like, fuck the gratitude. Fuck everything happens for a reason. And fuck humility. No, listen, Knowing that we need other people is humbling. Knowing that the audience is looking to you to guide them is humbling. Like for me, it's humbling to be in this role. You guys are listening to me. It is humbling. I just don't like the word humble or gratitude because it insinuates less than or something. I don't know. I don't want you to feel less than. I need you to feel extraordinary. Are you guys? So language to me is just so important. The language you use. Now, some of you are French speaking. It's so funny. So, you know, you have your own words in the language that makes sense to you. But just know that when you're speaking to someone in English, we got to use the right words. So we have to create a compelling, realistic future. And I just made a post. I don't know if I posted it, but I made a video. I don't think I posted it. That said, and this is big. Okay. Are you guys ready to be memorable? You have to say this part in a way that has the person you're speaking to see themselves in your future. I'm going to say it again because it's good. Okay. I like James. James was like, yeah, okay. I like that one. If I get good at this, then I am speaking to the audience. I am speaking, if it is a pitch and I'm trying to engage people and working with me or whatever, I have to say my future in a way that is so realistic, doable, achievable, so that they see that they are in my future with me. This is called cha-ching, cha-ching. Get, okay? Stop talking so far beyond yourself where it's a bit delusional. Delusional is hard to enroll people. I'm not saying the dream isn't real for you, but if you go too far out, people lose their way. They can't see themselves in what you're asking for. If you know, James said something so brilliant. James, I'm going to actually put it here. If you say you want to inspire the world, I've heard it a million times. This gets back to the messaging. I've heard it so many times. There's nothing unique. You are so far out, and most people will go, great. I wish you well. Good luck with that. Okay. What our job is when we're pitching ourselves or we're making a request is to start to get the language of the want, the future, to be smaller. And that's a bullseye. I don't want you to think small. That's a bullseye, man. And then it's like, hello, I know exactly where you're going. I think I can help. But the general, I want fame and fortune. Okay, good luck with that too. You know, I want 1 million monthly listeners. Great. What are you doing to achieve it would be my next question. What do you do? How are you doing that? Some of you with your want, I put 5 hows. Well, how are you doing that? And if the answer back in a pitch to me was, I don't know, then I'd be like, well, then can we get a little smaller? Because you're too out here, man. You know what I'm saying? You're too out. You're too general. And I won't believe that you're memorable unless you are doing something very, very, very specific. In business, you would call this a niche, right? In business, you would call this a niche. And from marketing programs that all of you probably have watched or seen or heard if you went to high school business or university business, is Nike became pretty amazing at selling what? The ability to do it. They didn't sell shoes. They sold a feeling. They didn't say we're a shoe company. They said, just do it. And then they aligned themselves, especially with the Michael Jordan. If anyone's seen the movie, go see the movie. By aligning themselves with a celebrity that was memorable, boom, bullseye. You guys can do that too. Part of the homework this week is going to align yourself with other artists that are doing what you want to do at a higher level. And by following them, by leaving comments, some of you spoke about that earlier. People start noticing those comments. They like those comments. What? This is amazing, because then if you ever wanted to accelerate the audience, accelerate your growth to your future, you can ask for collabs. Collaboration has always been a strategy to standing out and being more memorable faster. You get collabs with people who are doing it at a higher level. You become the opening act of somebody who is at a higher level, has a bigger audience than you. This is just smart. Okay, but we got to get the message here in this compelling future. Before I leave, I want to do one more story with you, or just a definition of a story. So this is homework. Got to write it. Got to write it. By the way, this becomes a bio. Onyx, I haven't worked on it today, but I will tomorrow. Your bio. So this becomes content for bios for if you are applying for factor funding. Sometimes your story will actually be the thing that people resonate with the most. They love where you were. They love where you are. They love who you're working with. They love what you're up to, right? They love your honesty about it, and they love your future. They believe the future is possible. So they will give you the money. Are you following me? So this is very important. The pitch is very important. But finally, as you are building your story, this is what I would call story number one. You also need to be building out story of what you do. I would like you guys to write the story of what you do, because it's what you do for people. It's what your music does. I write songs about bullseye. It's got to be the bullseye. Okay. So I write songs about, I make music that. Please finish those two sentences. I don't think it's exactly in those words in the workbook, but it's similar. Okay. So when you have, like, all my music is about something, theme it together, man. Theme it together. Yes.
I just kind of had I came across my theme of music this week that I thought was super cool. And I realized that I make adult coming of age songs.
Even just to say coming of age songs is good. Like, why identify only adult, you know?
Well, because I talk about having kids and job stuff and whatever. So sometimes it feels like it's in the sort of adult category. But
yeah, but it's just coming of age. It's growing up. It's growing up music. It's realizing the who you are. So I love that. That is so great. So great. Onyx, you wanted to add something? You're on mute.
Sorry, with the first story, with the future, you said paint a picture that includes the audience.
Well, they just need to see themselves in your future. Your ability
to
articulate, even if it's a producer, even if it's a music content creator.
You just mean like a tangible future that they can believe in with you, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a secret to being memorable. If people can see themselves in your future, then they know they're a part of the ride. They'll keep coming back for more because they feel like they're a part of your rise. This exact point, I would say, Chris Gray used beautifully. He's made them believe that they are a part of his decision process. I also have worked with a very, very successful artist named Ali Gadi. Go check him out. I cannot take any credit for him. I only gave him vocal coaching. But I got to tell you, he created a whole separate Instagram called The Listeners. And on that, he goes live all the time and he plays his music, and he has that special group. It's a private Facebook or Instagram page. So you have to apply, and then he grants permission. This is called MoFo. I mean, you want to be memorable, create like some kind of tension also, you know, if there's like tension there, this idea that somehow they're special, they see themselves in his future. So they're special to him. And then he plays the music, and he'll even say, what do you think should be my next single? He writes songs with that special group of people live all the time. They help him write the song. I mean, they believe that they're helping him write songs. I think he's chosen the songs, you know, ahead of time, but they believe it. And so they believe that they are a part of his future. Is that a good example of what I'm talking about?
Lorraine, how do you spell it? 𝐶𝐫𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐞'𝐬.
ALIGATE.
Okay, thank you.
And he's signed to 𝐋𝐨𝐫𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐞'𝐬. They brought him to me to work, which was really cool. And I think we worked in 2020 and 2021. And I even put a choir together for him and another Canadian artist named 𝐋𝐨𝐫𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐞'𝐬. And we recorded that at Noble Street Studios. So I put together a teenage choir. It was pretty awesome. And my God, guys, the things that I've done, you don't even know. Like, I'm so bad at telling all the things that I've done. Anyways, doesn't matter what I've done. It matters what I am doing. That's another thing. Memorable people will keep inventing themselves, keep sharing what they're doing. Sometimes memorable will imply of what I've done in the past only. And I believe that our business, the music industry, the entertainment industry, is always moving forward so fast. I don't actually care what you've done in the past. It gets you in the door. So please don't dwell when you are starting to write your 1 minute.
First, you got to stop bothering Evan.
Okay.
Sorry, am I still on here? Sorry.
Yes, it's okay. I meet you. The 1 minute pitch, okay? The 1 minute pitch. Some of you have done this in the past where some people ramble on and they tell their whole life story. I'm telling you what you have done or what has happened in your past. Like, you won an award when you were in grade 9. You had a dream when you were 6. 2 years ago, I released a song. It's like, oh my God, we got to get much faster at what you're working on now and where you're going. What you're working on now and where you're going. The future is everything. The way you describe your future will make you memorable. You have to do something in the now that is memorable. Okay, like my physicality, my messaging. I got to know what I'm giving the audience now, so they'll want to come back in the future. Okay, good. But the next is, as I'm enrolling people in my future, they have to see themselves there. So I will even tell artists in our scripts on our coaching sessions, I'll say, listen, I will never forget this moment. This was one of the best concerts of my life. You guys were amazing. I can't wait to do this with you again. That's a message. I can't wait to do this with you again. I can't wait till we can be back here at Scotiabank Arena. I can't wait until we can take this thing, global. I can't wait to see you in Paris. I can't wait to see you in Asia. They will fly. They will go places. It's unbelievable. Okay? If they believe that you are their shepherd, and that's really what it's a religious experience. You've got to become the shepherd. They got to trust you. Okay. So this is bullseye. Story of what you do. Got to get good at it. Fast. I suggest you practice, your inspiration here. So I was inspired by. This is the connection. It's like it connects you again to the bullseye, right? If you say something also to people that say, hey man, I saw a post last week where you were doing this and this, that was super effing cool. I love that. That helps people feel like they're seen. Cassidy, being seen. It will keep coming up. People want to be seen. Acknowledge them, compliment them, find some connection of inspiration. I was so inspired by, last year, 𝐭𝐬 putting out this and the way she talked about her music, it lit me up. I knew I had a story to tell too. Well, right away, then I'm thinking, holy crap, well, 𝐭𝐬 felt that same passion, the way and the way you're speaking is really, your message, your tone of your voice is certain. Certainty is what we are selling. Certainty. Okay? Not uncertainty. We are selling certainty. I just told you the 6 human needs. That's not just for you. That's also for your audience, right? Your audience has needs also. Your collaborators have needs also. You have to know what their needs are. You have to get good at psychology, right? To be in this game. That's why I teach so much psychology. 80% of any success has been proven up the wazoo, through the roof, is personal skills. 20% is knowledge and skills. Right? It's not how good of a guitar player you are. People are coming, you know, to your show because of the feeling you get by listening to you play the guitar. It's not how good you are at it. Do you understand? It's the feeling that you get when you listen to that guitar player. You're like, oh my God, they're speaking to my soul. You know, they're describing my innermost thoughts, and their fingers are amazing. By the way, go follow a guy that I've been following for some time. His name is Marcin, Marcin. He is a virtuoso guitar player. Virtuoso, unbelievable, spectacular. But he's just like 𝐿𝐁𝐸𝐬. There's something in his physicality. Like 𝐿𝐁𝐸𝐬 has the crazy hair. He's always wearing bright colors. It's a physical thing that you remember them for. It's not that they're virtuoso, extraordinary musicians. Okay, this guy, he always wears his sunglasses on his head. He moves his head he moves in the most interesting, gorgeous way. Like, just go find him. Like, I love social media. I love it. I find people, I'm like, who's that? Like, the For You page could not be more curated for me. Every single For You lights me up. Every single thing. If your For You page is not lighting you up and inspiring you, then you haven't trained it. You are not consuming the right things to keep you inspired. That's what social media is supposed to do. You're using social media to prove who you are, but social media is there to inspire you. It is not to bring you down. It's not to make you feel judged. It's not to make you feel, you know, less than. And if it does, put the fucking phone down. Seriously, I'm being a mother now. Put it down. If you start comparing yourself to others, if you feel less, please put it down. But use it to inspire you, to wake you up. Okay, the other story is validation. If you don't already do this, please do it today. Write down how many followers you have right now on all platforms, and start to recognize every month. Maybe it's the first of the month. Right now we're on the 12th. So maybe it's the 15th of every month that you do it, but you need to write down how many followers it's increasing by. Because the reason is that, again, for any kind of funding, if you're applying for things, you could say my growth has grown by 200%, you know, over the last 2 months. Again, Trevor Dubois just said my account just grew by 400 people, and then he's sharing it. It's so validating. People want to be a part of a rocket that is going up. They do not want to be a part of a rocket that's stale or stagnant or, you know, going down. Okay. They want to know the rocket is going up. So it's your job to tell that story. My last single got 1,000 streams, but the one that I just released is already 1,000 streams. You guys, you're amazing. Thank you. You are rocking my world. Share it. Share the validation. And your ability to share this story helps the audience see themselves in your future. You can use validation in your shows. You can use validation on social media. You most certainly need to know how to validate yourself when you are meeting people to collaborate with, producers, engineers, songwriters. You have to know how to validate yourself. Your humility is boring. Being self-deprecating is really annoying. Don't be self-deprecating. Don't keep saying I can do it better. Oh my God, I think I could do that better. This is doubtful. Your job is to build certainty. Certainty everywhere you go, unless you're with your coach. What we do together is completely different. You can break down with me. We build you back up. Now you go out into the world. The same as an athlete coach. It's exactly the same. An athlete coach's job is to build their, you know, their players up so they can go out onto the field and fight and win. And if they lose, their job is to analyze why it got, you know, why you lost or where you could have done things differently and how to improve it. Right? Are you guys following? That is my job. But I don't make money off of you. Okay? So your manager, that is not the job of the manager, is to pick you up when you've fallen down. That's not the job of the manager. The job of the manager is to make money off of you. So if you are not making money, you do not need a manager, period. The minute you are making more money than you know what to do with is when you need a manager to help you make more of it. And when you need a business manager to help you invest it or to help you pay the people on your payroll, because eventually it, you know, becomes more than you can handle on your own. But right now, all of you should be handling it on your own, which you are. Okay. Woo! What a class. Okay. Jordana, you have a question?
So it's when it comes to contact or like follow the people that inspires us, because you know most artists their profile are managed by someone who only take cares of posting and stuff. So is it like, do we reach to people that are more on the mid-level, or like, let's say I take the example of I'm inspired by Drake, so I will go comment on his posts, but you might not enter, you know?
I do it like this for artists. I try to visualize it. Okay. And I'll either put countries in here, or I may put, you know, this could be bars, theaters. I'll just do it really quickly for you guys. Usually I do this in another program, but you're asking, so it's a good exercise. Stadiums, arenas. And just put where you see yourself going. Like some of you don't want to play arenas at all. You know, you want to stay at theaters. It's fine. But then under here, I might put some artist names. And then I might even put cities. Like this could be Canada. You know, this could be the UK. This could be South Africa. So on. So yes, I think it's really important to follow artists that are a little bit better than you, doing a little bit more, have a slightly bigger fan base. But if you want to go all the way to artists that are winning, here's another way of looking at this, or a really good game. Who could I open for in the city that I'm in? This could be Toronto, or this could be Montreal. Okay. And then who could they open for? Because that will often give you the next level. You see what I mean? Like I could open for this person, and this person is probably opening for that person, and that person is on tour with that person. Does this make sense? So that's a good way of looking at it. I think if you can, the more artists you do this with, the more chances they're going to pay attention to you. Okay, they're going to start to notice you. I call it make yourself known. I observe also. Observation is a massive skill for a leader. Our ability to observe is leadership. My job is to notice what works and what doesn't work, what the audience is resonating with and what they are not resonating with. And then I model after it. Stop thinking that you're so unique. First of all, you are, because you're a human being. But we actually want this. We want the point of connection.
Yes.
At the beginning of your career, you have to find a point of inspiration, being relatable in some way. There has to be a connection. So in your need to be, so here's a human need. I told you significance is one of them. In your need to feel significant, everybody, be careful that you are too isolationist. Because if you are so unique, then you are so out there, no one can relate to you at all. Now, I'm not building any relationships with anybody. And chances are the music won't resonate with anyone. I have to build some kind of levels of connection.
I
Does
get
that
it.
help? So I make myself known. There's two things. One is I'm trying to make myself known to that artist, and to your point, is someone else managing that person's account? Possibly. But I have found over the last 3 to 4 years, people are managing their own social media accounts. As authenticity is winning on every flickin' level. And even like the biggest stars are managing their own social media. Maybe not 100% of the time. Maybe they have someone helping them. But trust me, they are looking and they are posting. They may not be managing their DMs, but they are posting themselves. And the more artists post themselves, and you'll just see it's different than it used to be. Again, less and less control from the industry. The industry is not as needed. The artist is taking on more and more responsibility. And I feel this is a very good thing. This is the wake-up call that we all needed, and the permission to rise and to expand and explore our greatest potential. You know, it's possible now. It wasn't as possible before. So one is to make yourself known. The other is you're making yourself known to their fans, Jordana. So even if Drake never sees it, trust me, his fans are. And the more you keep showing up on that page, leaving an insightful comment, and I call it hooking, when you hook back onto yourself, it's incredible what can happen. Rewatch this. Even if you were here, I suggest you rewatch it. There was a lot of great things that were shared, and a lot of exercises that you can take on beyond what's in the workbook. This is peeling the onion, and then share, go on social media, talk about what you are going through, talk about your discovery, talk about why you are doing what you're doing, talk about how, you know, I don't know, just share, man. Okay. Find people. Okay. Mwah!